Okay, let's preview Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God. Let's keep in mind, I want you to think about colonial America and the role religion played as you read. Consider the words and phrases Jonathan Edwards uses in his sermon, and ask yourself, how would you feel if you were listening to this sermon? So keep in mind, this is a sermon you are reading. We're going to do a gist. So for a gist, we read all of the words in the first paragraph, all of the words in the last paragraph, and then the first sentence of each additional. Okay, here we go. From Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God by Jonathan Edwards. You should be following along in your text. We find it easy to tread on and crush a worm that we see crawling on the earth. So it is easy for us to cut our sin just slender thread that anything hangs by. Thus, easy is it for God when he pleases to cast his enemies down to hell. Last paragraph is just one sentence. Therefore, let everyone that is out of Christ now awake and fly from the wrath to come. Now we go back to read the first sentence of each additional. We find it easy to tread on and crush a worm that we see crawling on the earth. They are now the objects of that very same anger and wrath of God that is expressed in the torments of hell. So that it is not because God is unmindful of their wickedness and does not resent it, that he don't let loose his hands and cut them off. Unconverted men walk over the pit of hell on a rotten covering, and there are innumerable places in this covering so weak that they won't bear their weight, and these places are not seen. So that thus it is that natural men are held in the hand of God over the pit of hell. Page 2. The bow of God's wrath is bent, and the arrow made ready on the string, and justice bends the arrow at your heart and strains the bow, and it is nothing but the mere pleasure of God, and that of an angry God, without any promise or obligation at all, that keeps the arrow one moment from being made drunk with your blood. The God that holds you over the pit of hell, much as one holds a spider or some loathsome insect over the fire, abhors you and is dreadfully provoked. It is everlasting wrath. How dreadful is the state of those that are daily and hourly in danger of this great wrath and infinite misery. And now you have an extraordinary opportunity, a day wherein Christ has thrown the door of mercy wide open and stands in the door calling and crying with a loud voice to poor sinners. Therefore, let everyone that is out of Christ now awake and fly from the wrath to come. What is this sermon mainly about? If you need to go back with your own text and silently read the first sentence to get a gist, be prepared to share what is this text mainly about.